Welcome back to the 2022 League of Legends College Championship presented by State Farm. I'm Pastry, that's Alk, and we had a barn burner to kick things off.
Ooh, I'm glad we didn't use the other B word. That would have been a little suspect. But yeah, I've been really loving this series so far. Obviously, Converse, we've talked about it again, and we'll talk about it continuously throughout the series. The fact that they're here is surprising. Let's see if MSU can bounce back, because that is the important part. They've done it before. They've gone down one in a pretty sad fashion before. And this is the exact kind of team that I'm expecting, and I think a lot of people at home should be looking to see what they're going to do here in Game 2.
And we saw, part of the plan, right? But I mean, even though bottom lane ended up going very poorly at some point, the looks were good as early as level 1, right? Like being aggressive, they actually, I think if you make slightly different decisions, the bot lane early game maybe flips, and then things are going smoothly for you. But even with bottom lane not looking so good, top side of the map looked great. It's Adwani constantly applying pressure in mid lane. Yes, you heard that correctly. Sunshine looked great on Darius. RBM's Gwen still back in form. So definitely a team that can get things going in the early stages. Just again, at the end of the day, these are both probably going to be team fighting teams. Got to win those mid game teams.
Exactly, and I think the problem there, like you were saying, is the fact that Scary Jerry and them got ahead.
Yeah.
If they can neutralize that, which I think is exactly what they were planning to do with something like a Misfortune and a Leona, then maybe we have a much more even team fight. Obviously, if we just could, erase the bot lane, like you were saying, all of the lead is in that top side for MSU in their solo lanes in the jungle. So they need to kind of solidify their bot lane, make sure that the laning phase is a little more stable, because if they get another performance like that, another level 1 cheese, if they're not able to kind of deal with that properly, Converse yet again are in position to go into top 4.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, surprise this team. 1 or 2, didn't expect that. I can say it again. And then you see it again. And
but that's going to be the series all of today, right?
Exactly.
I think for Bay State, there's obviously a little bit more precedence as to how that matchup is going to go. But if you ask everybody who's been either participating or just watching, this matchup is kind of hard to read because these teams have similar kind of play styles, or they have similar struggles as well.
It is it's nice to hear the MSU boys. Still very cheerful, though.
Very loud, too.
Argentum is very, animatedly either memeing with his team or giving very serious strategic advice.
Yeah,
I can't quite tell which one.
Yeah, Incon, the fellow with the big jacket, obviously showing off his pride
and the mop blonde hair.
Yeah, him and Argentum are definitely loud alongside RBM. RBM is just they're just a ton of memers. His name is literally Really Big Meme, so it makes sense the fact that that's just going to be going down. But those boys are loud, proud, and ready to rock on the CVU stage.
And you know what? There's plenty of things in the bag. We thought Sejuani mid was a great time. I thought it was, at least. But
it's solo killed Victor.
That's standard.
That is going to.
That's a normal pick.
That is going to affect solo queue in some way or another. Someone is going to watch this and say, "I saw MSU play this," and they're going to be like, "He just solo killed a Victor." That is going to be my Victor counter pick in solo queue now.
This is like when people go deep in LoLalytics and they find these really
niche
builds. Wait a second, I can move the needle on this.
They're gonna be like, oh my god, I can play Kai'Sa mid lane, and then they lose 10 games. They're like, wait, this sucks.
Yes.
Don't worry, the pros found that the hard way too, so it's okay.
It was fun at least.
Yeah, this has got to be at least the MSU boys are still keeping high in spirits. Like the desk were saying, this is a team that can dig deep and find victories, but I'm just looking at Converse as to how they're going to kind of bounce back from game 1, because obviously you're riding a high. You're like, wow, we just beat MSU, the 2nd seed coming out of the North Conference. What else can we do? Can we maybe you can either say, oh, there's hubris there, you end up botching level 1, and then we're back to an even series, or they ride that into a top 4 performance and are looking across from them, the winner of the next best of 3 after this.
I think the thing, if I'm on the Converse side, I'm looking, what do I want to see from this team? Because obviously we've seen a lot already. Yeah. I think it's just calibrating a little bit more, because I think in the early game they're a bit too aggressive, and then the mid game I felt a little too slow at times. And I think they calibrated well towards the end of the game. Scary Jerry especially, just continually found angles to go for. The team was much more in sync about how they wanted to play the map, and then go ahead and take team fights from there. I think it's one of those things where especially your first series on this stage, right, in top 8, maybe shaking it out a little bit, getting things kind of aligned and properly situated. So I think you know, it's not just enough to win, although winning is always great.
Yeah.
You want it to be clean. You want to
Exactly.
strike fear into your potential top 4 opponents.
What I want to see from them is I want to see Coach Jad and Rox link up a little bit more. They're the primary engage from that last game, and we didn't necessarily see them on the same page in every single play. I think when we're talking about incremental improvements throughout the series or throughout their performance in the tournament as a whole, Radar so far has been standing out to me as doing a lot better than what we saw in round of 32 and 16. So I'm looking at his jungle and support to take that next step and make those small changes as they continue to climb throughout top 8 in the CLoL.
Ooh, all right. So I thought for a second we were keeping it pretty similar. We have actually stayed on the same side, interestingly. So
Yeah.
Michigan either liking the side they were on before. I guess
Yeah, they had side selection. They got side selection,
sense.
so they did
Cheating.
choose blue side.
Okay.
I mean, look, in theory, it should have worked, right? They got a very powerful laner in Misfortune for the patch, and they got rid of a lot of the 80 carries. Instead, trading the Jinx out for the Kai'Sa this time around, and the Lucian gone as well. So, Converse, what is your answer here? Are you going to be the ones that, you know, kind of say, look, Scary Jerry, you're our team fight god. We're putting you on Jinx, get those resets, and let's call it a day. Let's wrap up this series.
I guess we'll see how the rest of the bans shake out, because I believe, if I'm remembering the last draft correctly, Ivan was not banned early. It was banned in phase 2.
It was banned 2, in the second phase. It was Ivern alongside, I think it was Soraka. Soraka mid is very difficult to play if you're Lance.
You might be right.
At least as a Sejuani. Maybe you know there's some other cool matchups you can get out there, but yeah, it looks like Converse are kind of sticking with what worked, right? Like, don't show any new cards, not only just against Michigan, but potentially if they do continue on into the tournament. Let's just keep it the same. Volibear seems to be very comfortable for Coach Jad, and Nautilus yet again for Rox. We have a lot of data on this patch, so Nautilus being the most picked is fine. It makes sense.
All right, here we go. RVM Kindred, and there's Brom. Already different here from MSU.
Okay, good matchup in the Nautilus, and you have the Kindred who is going to be able to farm. Makes it really difficult, I think, for Volibear to find any solo kills there in the jungle. So they have a pretty squishy team composition right now. I want to see how they're gonna supplement it this time. What kind of magic damage are we gonna see? What kind of tanks? What the front line is going to look like other than Braum? Because Braum is not fantastic at that. Like, he is the unbreakable, and some of that can kind of help, but he's not the tankiest champion, and definitely not someone you want on primary engage.
All right, well, Panther is over it.
Wow.
Doesn't want to have to pick Lost again on red side.
It could be Renekton mid. I want to keep, there's flexibility here. Anything's possible at this point in this matchup, right? Like, we literally just saw Sejuani mid. We're not going to stop talking about it. So, like,
Mordekaiser ban.
Yeah, the Mordekaiser ban is there because they just don't want to play against it. That's going to be pretty tough, especially for Sunlight, who really thrives. I think his top 3 champions are going to be the Garen, the Darius, and the Mordekaiser.
Yep. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, and that's what Converse have right now. Could complete the trifecta if they want. A Scary Jerry is going to lose Jinx. There is the draft sheet for Argentum. Again, does it all.
Not quite a notebook, but it's the page out of the notebook. He's having it on
got a
tape.
satchel of like loose paper in the back. Just pulls out the draft sheet.
Boom. He's like, okay, this is what we've kind of prepared.
Off the tree, man.
And talking to Incon, he's like, we kind of just like we pull up a name generator of like all the champions in the game, all 150 or so, and we're just like, does this champion work? We just randomly pick one. We're like, okay, can we fit this into a draft? Maybe. Okay, cool. Let's try it out. Anything's possible, man. Like, literally anything's possible.
Man, yeah, Argentum shaking his head. Like, I don't know, ban something. Just pick an anti carry. I don't care.
He's like, I literally, they can play anything. We win this. Oh,
okay.
Radar is gonna be picking up a Xerath.
Blind Xerath.
Okay. You know, we did see Xerath a little bit so far, but like, definitely very strange to be seeing blind Xerath. Now, I love this. Doesn't necessarily do great into Braum, but you look at how many of the squishy marksmen there are with the Kindred and the Misfortune. Very difficult for them to deal with range like Xerath.
Well, there's on.
Okay.
Have you wanted a tank? I think it does make sense. You need some extra additional front line there alongside Braum.
I'm wondering what AD carry they're going to go for Converse. Like, Michigan at this point, they could go for some magic damage. I don't know what matchup. Maybe they try to go for a LeBlanc matchup in mid lane for Lance. They have been playing Syndra, but I'm not the biggest fan of it here, especially with what Converse have so far. You look at the AD carry pool, there's not much for them to go for.
Yeah.
You don't have Jinx, Ezreal, which is another champion that Scary Jerry has taken a few wins, and especially as a safer marksman. What do you go for? Like, Aphelios feels a little bit weird, but if you want to go for hyper carry, that's in the pocket. I mean, I'm trying to like think. Obviously, I don't think Callista works very well here, so
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
No
Akshan
shot.
is the answer.
What? We're getting... wait. Is this Xerath bot?
Oh, wait a second.
Wait.
Now I'm really excited.
Okay, I'm just gonna wait for the
Yep.
champ select to
20
go
seconds,
through. We got 20
everyone. 20
seconds to go
seconds.
for this. There are a couple of different matchups they could go for here with. Yeah, I was wondering what MSU were gonna go with in mid lane. Syndra, definitely they've made this combo pair before, and between RBM and Lance, I'm looking for them to kind of step it up because last game, solo kill on as Sejuani onto Victor, it's a bit of a different role, and now back onto something like the Syndra, they have a ton of damage between the two of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the way MSU approach their games, RBM is on carries at least for these games that we've seen.
Yeah,
and it makes sense that Lance can play more supportive from that role. The thing you identified though is that if you take, let's say, Sejuani again, right, or some similar support champion, you're gonna miss somatic damage, which you desperately need in this comp when you draft something like Kindred. So kind of priced into picking a mage, goes for Syndra, obviously a champion that can be very good. But,
yeah, I mean, the level 3 is dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have Syndra scatter weak, and then it's just done. You can find kills that way, especially with the mounting dread from Kindred. So I think right now MSU feel a little bit of pressure, and they're putting RBM on something that we've seen a ton. Not only his Kha'Zix, but also we get to see a little bit more of his Kindred play here in CLoL.
No Zillion, sadly. A classic combination with the Kindred. I mean, even something like Karma could work, but again, doesn't do enough damage, I feel like.
Yep.
So it makes sense how MSU have approached this game. It's unfortunately we've lowered the school level slightly, although Converse have decided to kick one back. Give us the old Xerath in the bot lane.
I love this. This is super fun to watch. Again, Misfortune, if you thought last game was going to be difficult, she does not deal well with range. Now, I do think that Xerath is a little bit of a mismatch in terms of the pairing with Nautilus, as Nautilus is going to be able to go in and really just going to have to buy time. Scary Jerry, please. Flash.
Ooh.
Slow.
Good, needs more. All right, now they're like, okay, kill Rox, he's the closest one.
Oh,
Sunlight! Max range on the terrain! Found the E, there's Zethel's first blood!
Perfect. That's exactly what you want to see. The MSU boys, they get a little bit excited. You even see Argentum in the little picture. He's like, why is he doing that? This guy's trolling. You just can't be here. Go green, baby. And Zethel there, getting the first blood, able to reset, either pick up another longsword or can go for boots and pots and kind of opts for another longsword there. Really good punish from the side of MSU there.
So far, so good. Starting off with 500 extra gold. Feels pretty nice. Even has the longsword purchased for Zethel. That's how quick that kill came through. It is the invade, though.
Ooh, okay. And now there's an interesting option here. You saw Sunlight. He kind of took a weird pivot there as, hey, we don't know exactly where Converse's jungler is, right? Like, he could be invading right now, and they do have a ward in his bot side. So I'm looking at RBM. What is your choice here? Thank you to observers. Actually, I do want to actually kind of show this off here. So bot jungle, there's a ward. And you see this? RBM is going right over every single piece of vision. And if Jad gets out, he's going to get so sad right now as this volley bear, or as this Kindred, because now he's just wasted a ton of time on the opposite side of the map. And Coach Jad is going to be able to 3-quadrant him.
Yeah, I mean, skipped all the small camps on the red side and still losing 2 there as Jad takes both Gromp and the blue. Wolves at least will be left for RBM, but Jad going to go back with a very healthy early lead as far as farm goes. At least, once they keep hitting the camps.
Yeah, and now look at RBM. He's going to just have to try and go for some kind of gank. He doesn't hit level 3 by taking the Wolves there. He's only 8 farm now for the 2 camps that he's taken. Panther needs to crash this wave, though. He really needs for this to come back to him. Otherwise, he misses out on all of this wave. You saw that Radar went over to cover the red buff.
You have to know.
Yep, he's feeling it. He's like, yeah, there's a jungler here. He got level 3. He's going to walk on over.
Yeah,
Can RBM win this?
This is a nice little punish here for RBM. The patience is good. Level 2 Kindred, a little bit squishy, though.
No
Have
way.
to be careful. No. And Sunlight barely gets the kill.
Oh, RBM pain in his face. He lights up. He's like, yeah, that was a little close. We take those. Gets another kill for themselves. MSU playing on margins, but that's exactly what they need to do if they want to stay ahead in this game, especially after really intelligent pathing and a good punish from Jad in terms of the jungle pathing.
Takes the crab. RBM going to be feeling a bit better. Ooh, the Reavers love this play. Sunlight already getting the combo going. And Panther's like, I'm tanking minion damage. I can't win the 1v1. I'm definitely not winning the 2v1. Does have flash, though. E for the slow. I love it. some gusto.
Goodbye. Say goodbye, Panther.
Alcove Gaming, Wolf says hello, RBM says goodbye.
And that's one stack going over to the side of... Oh my god, Radar!
You mad lad! Why are you in mid lane?
They pushed out the wave and they're like, well, let's take a shift on over. Let's see if Zethel can find it. He's not able to find that. Uses the flash. Last tick of Corrupting Pot. Almost kills Radar. But he's going to take a flash. He's going to come on back. And now Zethel's in a really tough spot.
Ooh, again, Nautilus, you were definitely a champion in our game. That was quite the hitbox there for Rox. But I mean, credit to Rox, definitely knowing the limits of the old lollipop on the end of Nautilus's big anchor.
Oh, this is just the best Candyman in the entire game.
Yeah.
Like, there's Fiddlesticks. You got all, like, the Sweet Tooth skins. Like, maybe Poppy rivals him for that one. But
that would actually be an excellent Nautilus skin.
yes. Just for all the memes, it works. And now Jad is here, but so is RBM, a level down.
Ooh, big damage already onto Argentum, but Jad in trouble. Damage is there. Argentum
He lives.
finds the connection.
And there we go. MSU, they've just found punch after getting knocked down in game one. That's, I mean, it's 4-0. It's 1,300 gold for them. And RBM, despite a horrific early start in the jungle, is just making good on ganks. It feels like the roles are swapped. If you'd have told me nameplate's off, it's RBM that is on this Volibear making all the plays.
Looking good there for RBM. Again, Gwen got a decent lead for them in the early game, so RBM definitely the player that can get these early leads on carries and then carry the team over the line. Looking good so far, 1,200 gold ahead. Panther trying to, beat up on this one, but Sunlight's more than fine. Has been doing an excellent job both setting up for when RBM is there, but also just kind of absorbing any pressure Renekton wants to throw out.
This is a little bit scary for me. I mean, I know MSU are moving over into the top side. Coach Shad is just taking this dragon by himself, so an Ocean Soul will be really nice. He gets lucky with the fact that MSU just do not go for a check here, and the fact that Argentum Sky is on the top side of the map makes it a lot easier for him. So they end up winning that. A good trade and something that kind of keeps them in this game, as now knowing that Volibear's over there, move for the Raptors. Let's get a stack.
Good roam for the bottom lane, though, out of Converse. Rock's already there to meet them, knowing they want to try and get the mark off the enemy Raptor. But the stun is very nice. Radar in trouble. RBM still running away with it there. Does get the kill, but it will be a trade. Argentum does go down.
Can they find anything else? Jad, I think, really needs to step up the early game here, as, yes, they find that punish onto Argentum. It means that right now, Zethel's just free farming. He's not getting any kind of punish. He's able to push this wave in. Scary Jerry has not really had that same influence, but Jad is playing the Volibear. Look for the ganks, Panther.
Good flash.
Okay, just has to survive. He's a full level down thanks to what's been happening so early on. Just look at the experience and levels there. I mean, really can't do all that much.
It's the classic Doomer TP. From the top laner, you get ganked to TP back in, you get ganked
There's
again.
a jungler still there for some reason. It's only been 15 seconds.
Hey, nice flash. Oh wait, you don't have it anymore. RBM just gonna go ahead and try and take him out.
He's dead.
One more shot! Easy pick up there for another mark.
Amazing punish. Sunlight and RBM are working in tandem here to continue to punish Panther. And this is not the first time we've seen Converse in their solo lanes take a little bit of dip in performance. It was in their round of 32 and 16 play where Panther did get shut down by Fire Theft over at Arizona State. But they came back. They were able to kind of finish out that game. He was able to have a meteoric rise in the back half of that. But I think this is going to be a lot tougher this time around. It's not a Fiora, but it's a Renekton. You got to get into the back lane. You got to find fancy flanks, and while they're pressuring for plates here, Coach Jad, I think, for me, needs to do a lot more. You're playing Volibear, you look for dives, punish them, and abuse the range matchup that you have here with the Xerath.
Yeah, I mean, Scary Jerry actually on the CS front, looking real good.
Yeah?
Here in the 2v2, so feeling just fine on the Xerath right now. RBM, though, does have to go spend some gold. He apparently just wants to chain gank Panther.
Man.
And it's gonna work again. That is filthy. Dominus not gonna be enough. Respite, though, is gonna be forced out. But Panther gonna have to dance around it. RBM, does he have it? Indeed, he should. Now bottom side, stun.
There we
not
go.
gonna land. Rocks. Goes in for it. Oh, that ulti is nice. Zethel, I've got the flash in there. I gotta go for him. Scary Jerry shuts it down. And Argentum now level 4 Braum with no flash.
Here
Might
comes
get
the
out.
hook.
Oh, that hook's so nicely timed. Cooldown.
Is the root.
Aptly comes back off. Good
It
stun.
lands.
Very good
First
stun,
strike.
actually. It's not enough. That's enough. Scary Jerry with the snipe.
First strike, getting gold, getting extra damage, and is the last bit of Q mana that he has. He was on the brink there. He's putting down damage. He's trying to use the passive, the Lost Chapter. And he finds him maybe onto lands. Just going to take a really nice health trade there. But across the map, Panther almost turned that top play.
Yeah.
And if maybe he was 0-3 instead of 0-4, that looks a lot better. Fortunately for them, now we've kind of taken opposite swap. Last time it was their bot lane doing really well, but neither of the side lanes are really coming out to an amazing advantage. Scary Jerry is getting picks, but it only has recently come about.
Yeah, Mythic is completed for Scary Jerry though, and they are going to get this Herald because RBM honestly just stayed out on the map too long, right?
Yeah.
I get that you want to punish Panther. It's good that you are reading your enemy top laner's tendencies and continually punishing them, but that play would not have been close if RBM had got items instead of 2 long swords.
Yeah, and here we go. Jad, he has to come back. At one point, Panther after this game is going to be like, dude, so what's up with Deborah coming top lane? You got to help me push this wave in. If RBM is here again, the Kindred's going to continue to farm me, continue to pick up gold, and a little bit more after that. But right now, we're talking about how important Scary Jerry's positioning is. He is playing Xerath, and so now against Syndra, good luck on this one. He can outrange Syndra. He has an item advantage over her. He has a little bit of a level discrepancy, but that just comes with playing bot lane. You're not going to be able to move him unless you find a pick, and that, I think, requires Ornn and not necessarily Braum.
Yep. I think so, as MSU still have the lead they've had for most of this early game.
Yeah.
Hasn't shifted much, which is potentially a worry, but RBM has continued to get gold in this game, so really all of this lead is falling on the shoulders of the MSU jungler, is on a champion where you can absolutely carry the team over the line, and he is continuing to try and pick on the enemy top laner, although I wonder if we're going to revisit that mark. Jad, though, already going to clear those Raptors out, so not going to be an option.
Yeah, Akshan is there. You also have Syndra is just recalling right now, so there's just no room for him to actually go for this. Scuttle being taken, a lot of resources being given over to Sunlight.
Hey, they're fighting again.
Trying to clear this wave.
I wonder
Come
if
on.
the jungler is here.
Kindred is nowhere near. Thankfully, she went over to the Raptors, and Sunlight doesn't land that. But you see this. He has a finished Frozen Heart at 10 minutes. Insane.
The wave's
Panther
pushing
can do
away too.
absolutely no damage.
He knows she's dead, I think.
Yeah,
He's
you
like,
better
when
start recalling,
the
buddy.
wave is pushing away from you, and the enemy all just went blah, blah,
Oh
blah,
no!
and killed
Oh
the
no!
whole
There's
wave.
a Braum. Oh
Oh.
man! I'm closing my eyes. I'm gonna pretend.
All right, Panther, it's fine. Everything's fine. Out over them. Nothing happened. It's fine.
Well, Converse on the other side, that gold is just gone.
Yep.
They got first turret using the Rift Herald that was afforded to them thanks to Coach Jad pushing out that wave earlier on, right? He helped out his top laner, and while Panther's certainly not having a great game, the rest of his team is looking very strong. All of this gold right now is in the top side of the map with RBM and Sunlight. And we saw this last game as well. MSU, their top lane is doing well, but what about the bot lane? Where is Zethel and Argentum Sky? How are they going to be able to influence this game? Thank you for showing us the gold. 2,800 gold. Panther has as much gold as his support.
That is wild. There's Argentum. Oh, that big bite out of crime there for Scary Jerry.
And, you know, it's always important to see where the gold allocation is going to be, right? Scary Jerry is now super far ahead. They've almost taken a second-tier turret. I kind of like the idea that they didn't actually finish taking that turret. MSU kind of scaring them away from it, but that lane is so long. Because Renekton's not really relevant right now, only Akshan could have potentially taken that lane, and the longer that lane gets, the more potential there is for MSU to find a pick, find a punish.
All right, well, 12 minutes through. MSU back in the lead as the dust settles, so that first tower gold was a huge boon for Converse to keep the game in the state that they've been pretty comfy playing in, right?
Yeah.
Like, this lead has not shifted.
We're talking about comfort zones, but 10K is also a comfort zone for MSU. If you
True.
really
They already
want it.
tweeted that they're in the 0-1 comfort zone, so they're
0-1
feeling good.
comfort zone is exactly where MSU wants to be, and probably feeling like this is still a definite winnable game. It's Ornn who has a lot of gold.
I hope
Specifically,
it's
lots of
winnable with the 4-kill Kindred.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, one of the unspoken things about Ornn is obviously the experience, right? When you're able to get level 14, you get those items, you get all those upgrades. Definitely will help, especially if you're going to give them to a super fed Kindred, get her upgraded.
Radar, ooh, barely missing out on that one. Here's the Ornn ulti though, slowing him down. Radar gonna be forced to flash.
Dead.
RBM knows what's up, flashes straight in there with the Kraken Slayer, and Radar's gonna fall.
And exactly, like we were talking about, when you have these long lanes, you get punished. You have RBM waiting in Fog of War, and it makes it so difficult for Converse to find anything on the side lane. So Argentum just having to realize, yeah, I have to flash at this point, and he's been roaming so long. Wait, in the picture-in-picture?
Zethel? Zethel!
He found
Zethel!
it! He's got it! He found Zethel! He did it! Oh man, Argentum is level 6 at this point. Rox was 2 levels up on his opponent at this point. They have been so dominant in laning phase, as now RBM is caught. Massive gold shutdown.
Are you sure RBM's caught? Looks like Jad might be caught to me, but there's Rox with the CC. Lance Respite popped Radar. Big ulti there, takes down Lance, and RBM's not going to get away this time. Jad's going to shut that down.
Oh, man. And, you know, we were looking at where was Peyton, where was RBM during that fight, but Rox and Scary Jerry were holding down Argentum and Lance. They could not walk into river. RBM was in no man's land, and the gold that they had is now slipping away from them. Converse, they're going to find a mid turret. They have the dragon in their back pocket they've already picked up 2 minutes ago, and the Rift Herald is spawning in the next minute. Let's see where they redeploy, because they have a lot of options coming up in the next few.
Yeah, gold's gone. Converse take a very slight lead, but they'll call it even at this point. 2-1 up now in turrets. And again, RBM, plenty of gold on, plenty of gold. Converse just navigating well despite some bad lanes as Jazz gonna look for a gank here and Panthers looking for some revenge. Sunlight gonna flash out of there. We'll be fine. But no follow-up.
He shouldn't die here. Like he's got a full Frozen Heart versus these two. He flashed because he felt a little bit of a threatening presence around his life, but he has Argentum Sky coming there as well, so really just wants to be able to hold this lane. I'm very worried now because we've got about a minute now before this Rift Herald. A minute after that, the Dragon's going to be able to spawn, and that is a line of play that Converse, if they're able to do that hastily, makes it almost impossible for MSU to come back at this point. Lance hasn't been able to do anything. RBM is now giving up a kill there. That's a massive shutdown to Jad. And you see these items are starting to complete. Panthers finished his Blade of the Rune King. He's threatening to someone like the Syndra.
Oh, Jensen just caught out of position, can't get back to safety. Radar should be able to take him out, but Sunlight maybe on the flank. There's the own ulti. This setup looks decent. RBM though, already forced very low. Jad's diving in.
There it is.
Takes him out, and now it's a 5v4. But the knock up there onto Jad, the damage down, the ignite's good. Sunlight is gonna find the shutdown for the trade.
That was a super split fight, and the fact that it goes 1-for-1 is great for MSU. Both junglers are down, so that means the neutral objective's not gonna be on the table, at least for the time being. Give it another 30 seconds and we'll come back to that. But Scary Jerry was forced out of that fight. Zethel with a really good bullet time keeps him out of the river, and it means that Xerath can't really get effective damage. That's where a lot of your gold is lying.
All right, well,
is that Radar?
Quick addendum. Panther wasn't there for that fight.
Oh,
so it was outnumbered the entire time. Great hook again by Rox. The Scary Jerry combos in beautifully.
That's a good old observer trick. I'm glad that we focused in on Lance and they did the toggle for Fog of War, because I was like, I wonder why we're zooming in on Lance. There's gotta be an Akshan somewhere.
You're in danger.
Yeah. They don't know that, but we do. And that's the great part about having God vision. You just see like, something's bad's about to happen. So here for Converse, that kill onto Lance is nice, but I do actually think this was a pretty bad play for them all in all, because now they're gonna have to reset and enforce their teleports that they had. Sunlight already used his top lane to kind of push out this wave. Now MSU will have first say into the river. Hopefully they're able to stop Jad before he's able to get this scuttle. RBM wins the smite fight,
Oh no, Jad forced to ulti early. RBM over the top we go.
Whoa.
Good blast gun usage keeps himself safe, but Panther the target and also the target of Kindred again. RBM is 1 mark away from that critical 4th one.
Okay, but yeah, again, look, Converse, they're not able to get the dragon.
Yep.
And while they're able to sort of push mid lane, Sunlight is coming in with a flank to make sure that, hey, Scary Jerry, you can't stand here. Radar, you're not allowed into this space.
Rift held up though, and MSU, I think you're going to roll over and try and contest. In fact, they're going to go for a kill.
He's
Scary
dead.
Jerry caught out of position. RBM stunned up, but Scary Jerry will not live. Shut down there for Zethel.
Fantastic find. They're timing Summoner Spelling, saying, Scary Jerry can't be here. He has no flash. What is this guy doing? The Xerath, he's just straight up dead. Good find from the side of MSU. It gives them the dragon and it gives them the Rift Herald. So fantastic line of plays that come with the fact that Converse overextended and were not able to get into position for that dragon.
Yeah, and as a result, going to get the Herald at the end of the day as well. Smited away by RBM, picked up and he'll scoot out of there as Converse cannot move in. In fact, Zethel's looking for the angle, finds the slow. Damage is big onto the volley.
Radar's just playing in Fog of War. He's like, sneaky. I'm going rogue. I'm going rogue, boys. Trying to sneak around. Maybe he's able to find Argentum. RBM fails the Q over the wall. There's the go. Oh, great timing.
Nice from Radar.
fantastic timing. If RBM is there, maybe Radar ends up going down, but really good find. It's just a little bit of gold in their back pocket, evens up the gold lead between the two teams. But for the time being now, it is just, we're gonna wait for another objective, and that has been the name of the game so far in the series for MSU is draw Converse to fights so we can try and find an objective lead.
RBM does have 4 marks now, by the way. Kindred, of course, that first range upgrade. Always feels good, man.
Yeah, so the thing
champion feels very different.
Oh, Zethal.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Fancy only lands 1. Yeah, so the important part for Kindred is she still does get buffs on her other abilities, even below 4 stacks.
Yep.
It's just like you were saying, the range does make it a little bit nicer. She does have more options, I think, in terms of mobility to kind of play in a team fight. But I mean, now he's just kind of waiting. It looks like he's waiting for his Blade of the Ruin King finish alongside his Kraken Slayer. Yeah, 4 marks, and he's ready to go now. Level 12. All eyes on RBM at this point. 2 levels over Coach Chad, and is going to be one of the reasons whether or not MSU are able to toe the line into a victory.
They've also got a lot of gold just kind of standing on the map.
Yeah.
Outer towers are always, pretty easy to pop as the game goes on. And there's only 70 gold down right now.
Ooh.
So the game is, even. Oh, Jensen with a beautiful flank. Bro multi lets it rip. Oh, an ulti through the corridor, going bowling in the enemy jungle. And Coach Chad will only live for a short while.
Nice.
I take it back. It's great stun out of land.
Panther.
Finds the shutdown as Panther going in Q with the dominance. Poppin's going to get it rolling. Panther coming alive finally. 6 deaths was the limit, and Panther has had enough.
No one kills Panther 7 times in a row. Chad, he's going to chase down Lance. Converse, they're going to wipe MSU off the map, and they're going to go straight for Baron at 20 minutes. Man, what a fight. What a great flank from Panther. Yet again, another performance like we saw in round of 16.
Curious if they can get this done. Looks like they will be able to.
It'll take a little bit.
Yeah, the damage is a little low. There we go. Radar TPing in.
There we go. All right, so MSU, while Ornn is here, I think they're going to lose this mid turret, but at this point, I'm going to take that trade any day of the week. They're going to get Baron, and they immediately need to reset. Radar probably doesn't need to do so, considering he's just now coming back from base, but they need to get back out onto the map and redeploy, getting ready for the Dragon fight here, as this damage last fight, oh man, Panther, I'm glad that we got to see that, but Scary Jerry is just destroying MSU from range.
Yeah, I mean, which you would say about his AD carry play.
Yes.
He's just playing Xerath instead.
Which is, it's just awesome, right? That not only are we seeing him be able to play strong team fighting marksmen, but also playing mages that are not just Syndra. That has been kind of the go-to for a lot of bot laners. Like, I'm just going to play Syndra if we need a mage. Xerath is a much different kind of beast in that way, where you have excellent range in that matter. And it's awesome against MSU's composition. Yeah, it doesn't kill an Ornn, but everybody else is incredibly squishy.
Pretty easy to fire through Ornn, right? Sometimes Ornn can get in the way.
You can go right through him too.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Perfect.
Don't worry about it. Just artillery down the enemy carries. There's plenty of them to try and pick off here. As this siege will be pretty brutal. If Scary Jerry can land the poke especially. RBM may be thinking about the flank angle, but it's going to be tough to find. And
okay.
Harold popped because you got nothing else to do. Is timing out, I have to guess.
Yeah, so right here, I think this was a bit of a mistake from Converse. They're moving topside to try and shadow towards their top laner. Obviously, they're already there, so if we're trying to play safe, we don't want to walk into someone like the Kindred, but they lose control of mid, and this Dragon is spawning. They're saying, it's a Cloud Drake. We don't really care. If we can open up an inhibitor, find a kill.
Can't quite clear the exit there for Sunlight. Popping the ulti, getting CC'd for a while. Ulti finds 3, but Akshan finds 1.
Wait, they still have so they're going to just base race this. I mean, Kindred is still in mid lane. He has the Rift Herald. They're going to open up an inhibitor, and it's mid lane inhibitor. I think this helps out MSU in the long run, but
only if you live. Only if you live, which Argentum Sky will barely do so. But the hook again from Rox finds its prey. And that's going to be a shutdown. Nautilus is back alive because Radar has found a kill with the Akshan. And they didn't even get the inhib mid. Azito in trouble. Dances around the left
There
side.
it is.
But the 4th will find him. Scary Jerry on a rampage indeed.
And Julian, are they just going to do it? They have another wave coming in here. They've still got the Baron.
They're vibing.
They've got super long range. It is 15 seconds until the next member of MSU is alive. And Sunlight, he just has to stand here. They're going to go back to base, pick up some of their HP bars, and instead Converse, they say, nope, we're not going to risk it. We're going to recall. RBM spent a really long time in the mid lane, did not end up recalling and potentially risking the game there.
All right, well, again, Cloud Dragon's on the table, but it's not the soul. Neither team really needs to rush there. I think Converse would love to get it. They're going to go ahead and mosey on over and see if they can't grab it.
Rocks.
2 levels down
Should
for
be
Jensen.
fine. He's playing
TP in.
Nautilus, Spider Hook.
No punch. Sunlight in.
Scary Jerry's here.
Well, they're going for it again, but Scary Jerry.
No stun.
So painful. Look at the
Wow.
damage. RBM getting killed almost off the screen. Has to book the respite very, very
Here's
early.
Panther on the flank.
Jad.
Raiders.
He's going to go down.
He's ending the game.
He's trying to end the game. There's a TP again. Panther going on in. MSU have to leave, but Scary Jerry's not going to let anybody go.
Zethal? Can he do it? He doesn't have bullet time
Zethal's
quite yet.
just
He's
dead.
just dead. Teleport coming in.
Swing on in, easy kill, third TP, make it easy here for Converse. Should be able to take the game down. TP's not going to get cancelled, but it doesn't matter. Scary Jerry, unstoppable as Converse find the sweep just barely. A 2-0, keeping that run going.
And from the Peach Belt, from Bull Sea, Converse are going to top 4. Man, oh man. The Cinderella story continues. The sneaker fits if the shoe is... Oh my god, this is awesome. MSU, unfortunately getting knocked out in top 8. They're making a better run than they did last year, only getting out at top 16. Glad to see the boys still got a little bit of smiles on their face after that one. But man, what an exciting series for them.
And I think for me, one of the biggest things that I think about as I reflect on the series, like it was back and forth, but I never felt that I was saying Converse were the underdog, which was true.
Yeah.
Coming into this series, coming into every series, in fact, that Converse played.
Yeah. They were obviously, a lot of people around the community were saying, okay, they could probably lose to Bethany 2-0. They could probably lose to ASU 2-0. Here against MSU, a much more even game, 2-0. Well, now they get to play a best of 5 tomorrow. This is just incredible. Again, a team that no one thought would be here. No one thought that they would make it to top 8, make it to LA. Just super exciting stuff. And obviously, we still got to see more of the same, which is Scary Jerry basically just owning the Rift.
Yeah, I forgot how gross good Xerath play looked.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's just not balanced.
Nope. It's the bane of 80 carries, and especially when we're playing on 12-19 with super, super squishy marksmen, this is exactly what you want to see. They just get popped. Xerath is at range. He's throwing little darts. He's like, nope,
Yeah.
you're gone, you're done for.
Yep, first striking them all down. With that, we'll be hearing from the victorious Conference in just a few moments, but while they ready up, we are going to be joining the analyst desk to break down the series.
You're gone. You're done for. See you later. Sayonara. MSU feels bad, man, but feels real good for Converse, I'm assuming. Welcome back to the desk here.
So brutal.
I mean, look, man, he gave me the toss. I have to go ahead and make the catch as well with just how I got it going on. But hey, this isn't about me. This is about what happened in that game here. So, Smax, why don't you take us through your feelings real quick?
I have a lot of feelings. We'll get to those in a bit. I do want to talk about the champions that were picked in this game because there were some really interesting things going on in this draft. Honestly, a little bit less wild than we're used to for MSU specifically, but for Converse, they really bought in to the really fun draft mode. They've got this Xerath flex down to the bottom lane, and I think that pick was phenomenal. The range advantage that it had in that entire game, nobody could reach Scary Jerry.
No, it just could not happen because if you take a look back at the game, it wasn't even about reaching Scary Jerry. It was about having him be on the same screen as you, which didn't happen for almost the entire game. Because the early game, things were like, okay, cool, MSU got it, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it basically what ended up happening this game is that Xerath has no real way of being dealt with by the enemy team. Kindred hates being against champions that can deal poke damage. Braum hates being against champions, in lane especially, that can deal with poke damage. Absolutely wonderful pivot from Converse here.
The next few moments here on this highlight reel are going to be just a complete top gap, of course, from Panther, as he definitely said in all chat after this. He absolutely comes out of this game is like, yep, the better top laner won today.
I know, I've done that every single time in all of my games. We've been in games where I've done that, where I've gone 0-10 and gone GG top gap, play better next time.
Once again, to me, it was so weird to see MSU fall victim to this again, where it felt like in this composition, the point of the Ornn's ultimate is to challenge the positioning of the Xerath. And how many times did we see him use it proactively to start the fight, to get RBM in place, to get a kill at the front end of a fight, only to then immediately no response to Xerath, no response to the people behind, and just be able to win a fight afterwards.
Yeah, definitely. It was great play from RBM specifically in the early game, but towards the end of the game, Converse just ended up playing fights significantly better.
Yeah.
We talked how Converse felt comfortable being down gold in previous series, and they did fall behind massively early this game, but they were able to come back, and it really shows their strength as a team headed into semifinals.
And considering where we're at right now, you know, I know we kept saying how every single time how just the brackets are not in anybody's favor, and they continue to not be so, except mine, who I gotta say, I didn't really doubted them, so I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about all this.
I had Converse 2-1. I don't know about you. We're looking over there at this side of the desk.
I don't remember your opinion, though. That's fine. I'm just
All right, sorry, my bad.
I feel real confident, but yeah, I don't know about y'all, and I'm sure the other side of the desk is probably pretty sad. Suddenly, 100% of your rates are just suddenly gone, right?
It's a matter of like, I was one of the few that did 2-1 in the first round against Bethany. I was one of the few that did 2-1 against ASU as well. It's a very rare circumstance where I had support for this team. I just didn't think they were going to be able to cross the line the way they have. I don't think I can bid against them in semifinals anymore. I really don't think I'm allowed to. I have doubted this team enough. And maybe my doubting is what's
They
letting
may
them win.
want you to at this point.
Maybe I'm feeding their fire. True.
Yeah.
Do you see how scary Jerry was in this game, by the way? Do you see that number?
Name checks out.
That's a big graph right there. That's one you print out and frame, I feel like, and put it on the fridge.
I mean, considering how much damage he did, like you see in front of us, right? It was just scaling. Then that factor was prevalent in both of these games on how Converse decided that it's fine if you forego the early game. It's something that they mentioned that they were struggling with against ASU as well, and it didn't matter each and every single time. So like, I guess maybe the mental boom was a bit too much for the MSU boys.
I wonder if Converse was trying to hide certain picks or styles going into semifinals with this 1-0 lead. This is not a draft that you would expect to see from Converse. Actually, you would expect to see it from Michigan State with the mage bot lane and whatnot. It's definitely not the style that we would really expect from Converse, but maybe they wanted to keep it hidden. Maybe they're like, maybe this is a 50-50, but we got a game, and they managed to 2-0 anyway and keep some secrets hidden.
Yeah, but we got to remember, though, with MSU, they did mention how they're a club team, right? Everything they do by themselves, and they are friends at the end of the day. So those 7, 9, 10 people up there who was going in for these coaches, right? Thinking that end of the day, this was all them. This entire year was them pulling together, relying on themselves. And I'm sure they walk away as friends with big smiles on their faces. Smiles you don't seem to have, Smacks.
I'm pretty sad, you know. I'm bummed out that they're leaving the tournament right now, but I gotta support my boys. I am, of course, the Michigan State grandma. The MSU guys have all my support forever. I love you. And yeah, I'm still proud of all of you. I'm glad that I got to meet you in person here in LA. I'm glad you made it this far. And you know, we will mourn your losses in the tournament. I'm hoping you have a nice time in LA for the rest of the week.
Well, let's talk about some victories on the other end. Let's run up with Let's Tigers and Scary Jerry himself for the interview.
Okay. They're trying. Face it's being.
Thank you much.
Really nice.
Welcome, everyone. We have our post-game interview now alongside Scary Jerry. Can you hear me just fine?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you in my ear.
All right, good.
So right off the bat, I want to hear you talk about your personal performance because Kaisa in game 1, Xerath in game 2, very different looks for you.
Yeah, I mean, you want me to talk about my performance first, but first of all, I have to shout out the team. Like, I could not have done it without them. My support just played out of his mind today. My jungler really well too. Our mid out damaged me game 1. And our top laner just a rock. Not a single bit of tilt, even after the 10th gank at 3 minutes. So props to him. But as far as my performance goes, I'm happy. I think I played well. Again, I mean, I don't want to disrespect MSU. They're a great team. No support from their school. I'm glad they're here. But I don't feel that good beating them. But I think I played well personally. So I'm pretty happy with the way I performed. We made top 4.
A lot of people would agree with you there in your performance. You also mentioned a bit of tilt-proof nature across your squad. Were you worried about your opponents, considering that throughout this bracket, they've been developing a reputation for being able to come back at any given moment?
I mean, our coaches deserve a shout out too. They outdrafted MSU pretty hard. So throughout the entire game, we weren't really worried. We just kept reminding ourselves we scale, we have the better comp. So even though they had a good reputation for that stuff, we weren't very worried.
This is a big moment for you and the entire squad, the first inaugural year for this program. What has that been like, being the first team to compete in this nature at your university and now making the top 4?
I mean, it's insane. You know, it's really good for the university. I'm glad that they're getting all the success. They built a really good program, but especially for us as players, it's really good. Like our mid laner, it's his first year playing comp. It's my first year playing comp, and it's sort of our support's first year playing comp. So getting this experience of getting top 4 in a tournament like this, even though we weren't able to play on stage, it's still a really good experience, and we're really happy about it.
I know we would have loved to have you here in the arena, but you still performed so admirably from where you are now. Thank you so much for the interview, and congrats again on your victory.
All right, thank you.
Soon enough, everyone, we will be finding out who their opponents will be in the semifinal. After this break, we have Bay State facing off against UC Irvine. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you there.